You are making tea. The kettle hums softly on the stove, steam curling toward the ceiling like a quiet prayer. It's late. The city outside your window breathes in its usual rhythm, distant traffic, murmured conversations from neighboring apartments, the occasional bark of a stray dog below. You check your phone. Another headline about tensions. Another analyst predicting limited strikes. You've heard it all before. Warnings, threats, statements, denials. The kettle clicks off. Silence. Then the siren begins. At first, it sounds like a mistake, a mechanical wail stretching across the night. You freeze, your hand still gripping the cup. The sound grows louder, longer. It doesn't stop. Your heart starts to pound, not because you understand what's happening, but because your body does. You step toward the window. Other windows light up across the skyline. Balconies fill with shadows, people staring upward, waiting. The second siren joins the first, then a third. The city is no longer breathing. It's holding its breath. Your phone vibrates violently in your hand. Messages flood in. Are you hearing this? Turn on the TV, check the news. You don't need the news. The sky answers first. A distant flash. White. Then orange. Far enough away to feel unreal. Close enough to know it isn't. The glass in your window trembles slightly. Not shattering, just reminding you how fragile it is. The power cuts out. Darkness swallows the room. The refrigerator dies mid-hum. The Wi-Fi router blinks once, then nothing. You are alone with the sirens and the sky. Another flash. Closer. This time, you hear it. A deep, concussive boom that rolls through the city like thunder made of metal. Car alarms begin screaming below. Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You realize something strange. You're still holding the teacup. Your hand is shaking so badly the liquid spills over your fingers. It burns, but you barely feel it. You set the cup down slowly, because suddenly every small movement feels important, deliberate. Like this moment is being recorded by something larger than you. The sirens don't stop. They don't pause. They don't explain. They just wail. You step away from the window. Another explosion. Closer again. The floor beneath your feet vibrates. Dust shakes loose from the ceiling. This isn't a warning. This is impact. And in that instant, a single thought slices through you. This is real. This is happening. Not on television. Not in history books. Not in someone else's country. Here, now. To you, your phone regains signal for a moment, just long enough for one notification. Missile strikes reported. That's all it says. Reported. As if the sky itself isn't already screaming the truth. You try to call your mother. No connection. You try again. Nothing. The network collapses under fear. People flood stairwells. You hear footsteps echoing in the hallway outside your apartment, doors slamming, voices shouting, basement, move. Now, you grab your jacket without thinking. Not because it's cold, but because instinct tells you to carry something familiar, something yours. You open the door. The hallway is chaos. Neighbors you've smiled at for years are unrecognizable. Wide eyes, pale faces. Someone drops their phone. It skids across the tile floor. No one stops to pick it up. Another explosion. The lights flicker briefly from emergency generators. Then, darkness again. You move with the crowd. Down the stairs. Each step feels too slow, too exposed. You imagine the building collapsing above you, concrete folding like paper. You imagine your name becoming a statistic. Civilian casualty. You reach the basement. It smells like dust and old paint. People huddle against the walls. Someone is praying. Someone else is whispering into a dead phone. You sit on the cold floor, your back against concrete. The sirens continue above ground. Then, a different sound, a sharp, whistling shriek tearing through the air. The kind of sound you never forget once you hear it. Impact. The building shakes violently. Screams erupt. Dust rains from the ceiling. For a split second, you're certain this is the one. This is where it ends. But the building holds. Barely. You realize something else. The fear isn't sharp anymore. It's heavy, like a weight pressing on your chest. You check your phone again. Signal returns briefly. Videos already spreading. Flames in the distance. Smoke columns rising. Commentators speculating. Experts debating strategy. You stare at the screen. They're talking about strategic targets. You think about the grocery store 2 blocks away. The school down the street. The old man who feeds stray cats every evening. Strategic. You wonder who decides which buildings matter. Another blast. Closer. The basement lights flicker on permanently this time. Dim. Yellow. Enough to see each other's faces. And in every face, the same question. How long? How long does this last? Minutes? Hours? Days? You've never measured time by explosions before. But now you do. Each blast is a clock. Each tremor a countdown. Somewhere above, something collapses. You hear it. Concrete cracking. Metal bending. The city is changing shape in real time. And you are inside it. Hours pass. Or maybe it's less. Time dissolves in the basement. The sirens eventually stop. But the silence that follows is worse. No one speaks. You check your phone again. Signal returns in fragments. Images load slowly. A hospital hit. An apartment complex burning. A highway cratered. You zoom into a photo. You recognize the skyline. Your skyline. It looks unfamiliar, as if someone edited the city with violence. A man in the basement starts laughing softly. Not because it's funny. Because it's too much. Your phone buzzes. One message finally gets through. I'm safe, from your mother. 2 words. You exhale for the first time in what feels like hours. But safe is temporary now. Safe is fragile. You realize something profound in the dim basement light. War doesn't feel like politics. It feels like interruption. Of dinner. Of sleep. Of ordinary life. It takes the mundane and shatters it. You think about the people on the other side of this conflict. Civilians like you, holding cups of tea, checking headlines, listening to sirens. You wonder if they are also in basements right now, if their hands are shaking too. Another distant explosion echoes, not as close, but still there. The night stretches endlessly. People doze in exhaustion. You can't sleep. Every creak of the building feels like collapse. Every distant rumble feels like approach. Your city is being rewritten in fire. And tomorrow the headlines will argue about justification, about deterrence, about retaliation. But down here, in the basement, there is only survival. Dawn eventually arrives, not with sunlight, but with gray, muted, heavy. The all clear never formally comes. The explosions simply stop. For now, you step back onto the street. The air smells like smoke and concrete dust. Sirens have been replaced by emergency vehicles, ambulances, fire trucks, people moving slowly, like sleepwalkers. A building down the block is missing its front wall. Exposed rooms hang open to the street. You see a couch, a kitchen table, a child's bedroom painted blue, ordinary life split open. You realize something quietly devastating. War doesn't start when missiles launch. It starts long before that. In speeches. In sanctions. In quiet decisions made far away. And it ends long after the explosions stop. In trauma. In rebuilding. In silence. You look up at the sky. It's empty now. No flashes. No smoke trails. Just a pale morning stretching above a wounded city. You think about the tea you never finished, still sitting on the kitchen counter. Cold. A small detail from a world that already feels distant. Last night you were a civilian. Today you are something else. A witness. A survivor. A fragment of a headline. And somewhere, in another apartment, someone is putting water on to boil. Unaware. Listening to distant traffic, checking the news. Believing it's happening somewhere else. Until the sirens